Hello.
Hello.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I guess there's our Christmas episode. I seem to have the wrong file up for our thumbnail, so I'll get that changed real quick. And while I do that, if you want to bring us in.
I was just going to do that. So welcome to Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. This is our first ever Christmas special. It's our third episode where we're streaming live. So we are live right now. So while you're watching on the YouTube channel, if you want, you can type in questions and comments and things like that while we're going through. Was it week 18? Yes.
That sounds right.
Yeah, week 18 of English Premier League. With highlights and some stats and little news tidbits and doodads on this wonderful Christmas day. Hope everybody's having a good holiday. Hope everybody's safe traveling. If Christmas isn't your thing, hope you're having a good Tuesday. And happy Hanukkah and happy Kwanzaa, whatever else is going on right now. Happy whatever. So, anyways, on to week 18 of English Premier League. There were some pretty good games this past week. There were some stinkers. Some of them were, but it is what it is. Football is football, and we still love it no matter what. But the week started off just this past Friday with Liverpool hosting Watford. And that was a pretty good game. Watford put up a fight. I'm sorry, not Watford.
I don't know where you're at.
Wolverhampton. Wolves on Friday. And Wolves put up a really good fight. Nuno should be pretty proud of his boys. They ended up losing at home to Liverpool 2-0. But like I said, still it was a pretty valiant fight by Nuno's boys.
It did ensure that Liverpool is atop today, and I believe 8 out of the last 9 times a team who is atop at Christmas has went on to win the league. The last team to be atop at Christmas and not win the league was Liverpool. And actually, Wayne Rooney has actually come out and said he still believes that Man City will win the league. That's a big statement from a former Man United man, claiming that City will win the league. But it's still a tight race at the top. I think Liverpool could win it. I think City could win it. It's that close right now.
It's going to be a good race. I mean, and given the fact that Liverpool won their match, and City lost theirs, put a 4-point spread between first place and second place, with Manchester City in second.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
I don't know.
Can you change the camera real quick and just tilt it down?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. I kind of got this set up a little bit late. We were at some family's house. And we just got back just in time for this.
'Cause it's Christmas.
It is. Yeah, it was a really important game. I want to move on to a different game. I don't want to go in order.
That's fine.
I want to move to the Man City Crystal Palace game. Because holy crap. We were just talking about the title race. This changes things up a little bit. It's still tight, but it gave Liverpool a little bit of breathing room. Crystal Palace managed to oust City. And they deserved it. Yeah. They deserved all 3 points. Yeah. And then, I mean, a goal from Andros Townsend was goal of the season.
When I saw that goal, my jaw hit the floor. It was a beautiful rip. And I think even Andros Townsend was a little surprised. Yeah. I mean, his celebration was just like, whoa. Like, did you see that? It was a fantastic game. I think that's probably a pretty good contender for match of the week. City just something just wasn't clicking. There was something in the gear just not there. They were playing well. But what I think what it really boiled down to was Palace just put away every chance they had. I think they had 4 shots on target, and 3 of them were goals. So it just it kind of tells you where they were at. City had plenty of shots.
Yeah.
The goalkeepers were worked over pretty well.
Yeah, I think Palace. All right, so City were the better team. I think Palace just were able to be more efficient. When they had the ball, they used it extremely wisely. They made fantastic passes. They took shots whenever they had them. Because it wasn't that often that they had an open shot.
Yeah.
Andros Townsend's goal just happened to bounce back to him, and he just took the rip.
Oh yeah, it was a great rip.
It was. If you have a chance to go see that, please go back and watch it. It gets better with every angle that they show it, and I believe it will continue to get better the more that I watch it. I've seen it about 10 times already.
Yeah, it got to be. It's going to be in the top 3 for goal of the season. Even though we're only halfway into the season, it was a phenomenal goal. In my notes, I wrote down that the Townsend goal was crazy. But just a little bit of a side note on that match as well. The last time Manchester City lost at home was December 22nd of 1990.
To Palace.
To Crystal Palace.
That's a...
So, presents are falling.
Yeah.
Pay no mind to the presents in the back. They are real. They belong to other people, but...
I snagged them.
Yeah, Porch Pirate.
It's not true.
It's not true. Not true.
No, I just... I think it's a goal... Contender of the goal of the season also just because of the implications. Because it gave Liverpool a little bit of breathing room. It was that important, and it will continue to be an important goal for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
See next game. Arsenal Burnley. Arsenal expected to win that game. Expected to get back on track. I think, a couple games slump from Unai Emery and the Gunners was nothing. Nobody's really surprised. It was going to happen eventually. But, coming back to play a team like Burnley, good confidence booster, and a way to get back on the winning side of the score sheet. There was really nothing important. The really important thing is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang surpassed Mo Salah for top scorer this season. So those two are fighting it out for Golden Boot. I believe Mo Salah has 10 or 11.
Player stats. Top scorer Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with 12.
Harry Kane has 11
Salah with 11, but Harry Kane has 3 PKs.
That's true.
So, yeah. But then behind him is Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting race for the rest of the season. I think Harry Kane will stay up there as well. He's always up there contending for Golden Boot. I believe he won it last year, so...
He's got to stop taking up PKs, though, man.
Oh, well...
But whatever.
Yeah, that was a good game. Bournemouth-Brighton. Let me tell you, put money on David Brooks. He is going to be huge.
Absolutely.
He's going to be massive. He's an excellent young player right now, and the 2 goals that he scored were magnificent. And it goes to show how special he's gonna be. I don't see him staying at Bournemouth much longer. Maybe another season. The thing that I'm worried about is he needs to go to the right team. He can't go to a team like Barca or Real Madrid because he won't get the playing time.
He won't get the playing time, and that'll stifle his growth.
Yeah, and that
sure.
He needs it. He needs to continue playing. Stay in England. Move somewhere like Chelsea, or Liverpool, or Tottenham. Stay somewhere up at the top, so that you can continue getting your playing time, and you can start winning trophies. You can start fighting for bigger titles like Champions League and stuff like that. Other than that, there's really nothing else for that game. It was a really physical match. It was probably one of my favorite games of the week to watch, just because of how physical it was.
And Lewis Dunk got sent off with a second yellow
Yeah.
in the 73rd, and he knew it. I mean, it was he kind of protested the second yellow, but he knew it. He was about 5 minutes late on the challenge. He came in from behind. He wasn't even trying to get the ball. And he stood up and he's like, no, I got the ball. And then they showed him the second yellow and the red. And he's like, oh, okay, all right. And he went off. It was a very physical match. And the referee, who was the referee?
Martin Atkinson, right?
I believe it was.
Sorry, Mike Dean.
Mike Dean. Mike Dean let a lot of stuff go. Not that he was just not paying attention to it. He assessed them as, okay, it's just part of the game. And I agree with that to a large extent. I don't have any real problems with any of the decisions he made in that match. Especially, letting really physical tackles go, really physical crunching challenges. If they didn't meet the requirements, he let it play.
Yeah.
And it made the match really exciting.
And as a player, that's what you look for in a ref.
Yeah.
You don't want stoppages of play. You want to just keep playing. You want to keep the game going, because too many stoppages for stuff like that, just it gets repetitive, and you feel like you're standing around, waiting for a free kick to be taken, or a card to be given out.
And it just ruins the flow.
It does.
I mean, even as a spectator, it ruins the flow. It's like come on, let's get on with it. Let's play. Let these boys play. So, who'd you got next, man?
Chelsea, Leicester.
Does that mean that I laugh out loud?
Yeah, you're good. I don't know. Chelsea are too inconsistent right now. To go from, losing to Wolves, beating City, and then losing to Leicester. It's not the Chelsea of old. And I believe it was Eden Hazard who came out and said, we bounced back really well after the loss to Wolves by beating City. We'll do it again. Well, they haven't proved that yet. They really need to prove it in their next game. Who are they playing next, by the way? Watford. They really need to show up against Watford on Boxing Day tomorrow and prove, they're still a top team in the league. They're fourth right now, but the only reason they're still in fourth is goal differential. Arsenal just have a lower goal differential than they do right now. They got to step it up. I don't expect them to challenge for the title this year. I do expect them to be in Champions League next year. 2 years without Champions League is not happening.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Liverpool, or Chelsea, yes, they are playing a little inconsistent right now. They're still, I think they're trying some different things. I think they're just trying to get their feet back underneath them. A little inconsistent. I don't know that they're not going to be able to challenge for. I don't know if they could challenge for the trophy right now.
I think
they'll definitely be in Champions League. I think they're doing all right for that. I mean, considering that right now with the table, it's where are they? They're fourth, and they're 5 points out of third. And it's still early. I mean, we're literally right at the halfway mark. Tomorrow, Boxing Day, will be the halfway mark. The January transfer window opens here really soon. Some things might change there. There's not even really a whole lot of speculation going on right now for the transfer window.
There's actually a lot of managers who are saying that we don't want anything. We don't plan on spending any money. Yeah. I know Timothy Weah from PSG, U.S. men's national team player, has said he wants to go out on loan. But that's it. That's all I've heard. Usually the speculation starts heating up when the transfer season starts for January transfer window, because all of the transfers, for some reason, wait till the last day. But I think this transfer window is going to be important for a lot of teams. But we'll just have to wait and see with that.
We'll wait and see.
Good goal from Jamie Vardy. James Madison's another young player that I'm interested in seeing him grow.
Yeah, he was man of the match, actually.
Yeah, he's been performing really well for Leicester. And like David Brooks, I don't foresee him staying there. If he continues to perform the way that he has, it'll be pretty quick that he moves to a bigger team. Yeah. Southampton.
That was a good game to watch.
Southampton are on fire. Ralph Hasenhüttl has got this team in full force right now. They have them in the next gear, which is what Southampton needed, because they were struggling.
That's one of the reasons I really enjoyed watching this match, is because Southampton was playing like I've always known, and you've always known that they could play.
Yeah, they've got good players.
Yeah, they have the talent. They have the skill.
Aren't using it, and I think Ralph Hasenhüttl has gotten the right tactics for that team, and the team is buying into it, which is extremely important. They need to buy into it, just because if they don't, you'll get what happened with David Moyes, and unfortunately, we can't have that. We need someone to.
You mean Mark Hughes?
Did I say David Moyes?
Yes.
Mark Hughes.
Okay, all right, yeah, now I'm with you.
And the team just won't perform. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that Southampton can continue to perform, because I like seeing them play like this, because I know that they can play at a high level. It's only 2 games in under Ralph Hasenhüttl. 3 games in, I believe. But
this will be his second one. He's actually on the sidelines. It's his 3rd game as manager. The second one where he's actually on the sidelines. Yeah. And it was a couple of good goals. Nathan Redmond had a good goal. Danny Ings had a PK right before halftime. And then
Philip Billings' goal was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. That was a really good hit.
It came out of nowhere and put them back in the game, which unfortunately Southampton came back and scored another goal from the 18-year-old Michael Obafemi,
who at that point, 18 years, 167 days, makes him the youngest player in Premier League to score a goal.
Right on.
So that was pretty cool. And it was a good goal, too. Nathan Redmond had a goal and an assist. Philip Billings actually man of the match. He had a really good game.
He did. It just there wasn't enough around him to support a win for Huddersfield.
I think it's going to be a miracle if Huddersfield stays up.
Really? You're going to go that far already?
Yeah.
See,
they are really struggling. I think they struggled last season and kind of lucked out a little bit. I think it's going to be really hard for them to stay up a second season. And I don't want to trash talk David Wagner. I don't think he's a bad manager. But at the same time, they're just not. They're not growing into the Premier League style of play. I think they're a good enough team. They're just not right now. Maybe something happens in the transfer window. I don't know. Maybe David Wagner gets sacked. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just time for them to go down, maybe reassess a little bit, and then come back up.
Which, is what happens with a lot of teams. Look at Wolverhampton. They went down all the way to League One.
Yeah, it was below Championship.
Yeah, below Championship, which is League One, I believe.
So they got relegated 2 seasons in a row.
And they reassessed. They completely reorganized their club, and now they're back in Premier League, and they're back in full force. They're 10th right now, and they're performing really well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Definitely. The Newcastle Fulham match really wasn't much there. It should have been a much higher score than a 0-0 draw. They're just everybody was stuck in the midfield. They just really couldn't get out of the midfield. I don't know what the stats are on that match. I'd have to look at them. Let's see if we can find them. But where everybody was playing. It's just. It seemed like everything took place in the middle of the park. That there was just nothing going on either attacking third. I'd like to see if we could find something, where that was at. It wasn't a terrible match. It just should have been a whole lot better. There should have been some scoring going on there. It just wasn't.
Well, and the problem is Newcastle had 0 shots on target.
Well, like I said, there was just nothing going on in the attacking third, really, for either team. 0 shots on frame. That's 90 minutes where somebody just didn't do their job.
Both teams actually had more passes in their own half than the other team's half, which you can't have. And I agree with the fact that, the teams just couldn't get past the middle third.
Yeah.
They couldn't get into the attacking third of the pitch.
Yeah. Now, does that speak to the opposing defense was that good, or does it mean your offense is that bad, or is it both? Given the fact that both of these teams are bottom half of the table, I'm gonna go with the attacking part of the team is just not performing.
Yeah, I think, and if you watch the game, they were kind of not really pulled together correctly. I'm trying to find the right words. They weren't organized in their passing. It just kind of seemed scraggly and just trying to find a person in general, not putting it directly on their foot. It wasn't pretty passing. It wasn't nice flowing Barcelona tiki-taka passing. It seemed rushed, and that's probably a big problem.
Yeah.
You need to be able to slow the game down, control the game at your own pace, and neither team really did that. They both just kind of tried to force it through, and it didn't work. And that's why the scoreline was 0-0.
Next game would be West Ham hosting Watford. So you got Bobby Snods hosting Dolly Waffles.
I hate you so much right now. I want everybody to know I hate it. I hate him.
So I come up with weird nicknames when I'm watching these matches, and they're stupid nicknames. But I'm talking about Robert Snodgrass, so Bobby Snods, and somehow Gerard Deulofeu's name in my brain has just deconstructed itself into Dolly Waffles. So, but there it is, and I knew he was going to say something, so I had to get it out really fast. So there it is, Bobby Snods hosting Dolly Waffles.
I quit.
This was a really exciting physical match too, and both teams played really well. West Ham, the biggest chink in the armor there was Chicharito was just off target by inches, more than a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
He played pretty well. I don't have a lot of complaints about Javier Hernandez right now. He's not playing terrible. It just seemed like he was a prima donna when he was at United.
Yeah.
And he's a good player. He's a really good player.
And his career really changed when he went to Bayer Leverkusen. He had really good seasons at Bayer, and he just, he decided to leave Germany and he came back to England. And he's not having as successful of a season, but I think he's playing at the same level. He seems to be more mature, and he seems to be playing like it. And it's working for United, or for West Ham when they play him. West Ham are a good team this season. The thing is they're just not consistent, much like Chelsea. They win really good games, but then they lose games that they should be competing against. And this is one of those games that they should be competing for a win. And they lost 2-0.
Yeah, and I think they should be competing, but at the same time, Watford's doing really well right now too. Gerard Deulofeu is really doing really well for them.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned it before, but this is a guy who played a couple of seasons at Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
This is a top talent midfielder, and he's got a really good brain for football. I wish he would put in just a little bit more work. And I think he would be a top player again. I'm not saying he's lazy. I don't want to say he's lazy. I just think he gets complacent.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe he feels like, well, I played at Barcelona. These guys aren't quite as good as me, so I'm going to kind of step off the gas a little bit. That's the mindset that I feel he's in. Of course, I've never talked to this man. And probably never will, but I've never even seen an interview with him where anything like that's even been an inkle. But at the same time, that's just the vibe I get when I watch him playing. Like, oh well, okay. But again, Watford's doing really well right now. They're not doing great, but I think they're top half.
Watford
they're in seventh.
Yeah.
And their goal differential is 0 right now. So, that's not terrible, especially coming into the Christmas break. But, that game, 2-0, another contender for match of the week. even though it was a 2-0 scoreline, it was a very entertaining match. It was a good physical match. You had two teams who were really just going for it, and it makes it fun. But,
last two games of the week are pretty high scoring games.
Goal fest, if you will.
Yes. Man United Cardiff ended 5-1 United. And it was much deserved. Cardiff just didn't have an answer. The one goal they scored was a penalty. Every once in a while a defender makes a little mistake in the box and it forces a penalty. And, sometimes it could be game-changing. This one it wasn't. It was already 2-0 at that point. And Jesse Lingard with 2 goals. Anthony Martial with a goal. Ander Herrera and Marcus Rashford with a goal apiece.
And even Luke Shaw was getting forward, making runs and taking shots. United got their fire back.
And I think that just goes to show the change for United between Liverpool and Cardiff. Although, two teams on two completely different ends of the spectrum, the tactics were much different. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shows the skill that United have that Mourinho just wasn't using. You got Anthony Martial, Jesse Lingard, and Marcus Rashford playing up top with Paul Pogba behind them in the midfield.
And that's got to be, as a defender, scary. That's got to be terrifying.
That's absolutely terrifying. Romelu Lukaku wasn't even dressed. He was not part of the 18-man squad. He wasn't even on the bench. Which, sorry, Big Rom, that's where you deserve to be right now. You're not performing, while these 3 younger guys are consistently performing when they're given chances. And look at the scoreline when they play. It goes to show what Mourinho wasn't using for some reason.
Well, and I think a lot of it was, in kind of the aftermath of Mourinho be getting sacked. I think some of it, just, for me, came to light that there was just so much personal stuff between him and players that he would say, "Okay, you're sitting because I just don't like you. I don't care if we win or not. I'm gonna make you mad at me, and I'm all right with that." Like Paul Pogba. I think it's since been taken down. But he tweeted, a picture of him grinning, ear to ear, when you go back to work and your boss is fired, and he's just grinning. And so Jose Mourinho's gone, and they were always saying there's nothing between us, garbage. There was something between them, and we all knew it. Whether either one of them are going to admit it or not, for whatever reason, they're not going to admit it, and that's fine because we already know. Jose, we already know you didn't like Paul Pogba for whatever reason. Paul Pogba said he wanted to leave for whatever reason. He didn't like you either. Whatever. Mm-hmm. So, but now he's on the pitch. Big Rom's sitting because you have that option in Paul Pogba, and it was a much better result. Yes. And I'm not saying it's all just the manager. It's somebody coming in and say, hey guys, listen, this is what we have to work with. Let's put these pieces together like this and see how it goes. And it worked brilliantly. Mm-hmm. So again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did something that I know Thomas has been saying out loud, and I've been trying to echo that this is how it should be at United, and now it is.
United are a good team. There's a reason they have. 22 titles now?
They're the winningest team in the league.
Exactly. And I think this may actually save Paul Pogba's Man United career. If he doesn't decide to leave, I think he could absolutely become a Man United legend at Old Trafford. That's absolutely a possibility.
Agreed.
He just needs the right manager and the right attacking squad in front of him to consistently score goals and consistently win games so that they can win titles again. There's just something wrong with the managing situation that they've had as of late. Yeah. This is his Solskjaer's first game in charge. It was a really good win to start it off. Hopefully we can see more of that from United.
It's a heck of a way to start, man. And with the last game of the week, with Everton hosting Tottenham at Goodison Park, it's more of the same from Everton, and it's more of the same from Tottenham. Mm-hmm. You got two teams. Everton should be doing better. Something's missing. I think a lot of it is Jordan Pickford is a really good goalkeeper. I just think he's the wrong choice at Goodison Park.
Yes.
I think he doesn't fit for whatever reason. The defense just isn't helping him out a whole lot. This kid is just way too busy. To be on a team like Everton. They need to do something different there. But again, Tottenham always comes to play. 98% of the time they come to play. And this is one of those times where they came to play. Heung-min Son, Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen, Heung-min Son again, and Harry Kane again. So you got two guys with braces. It ended up 2-6, Everton, Tottenham.
And just to show you, Tottenham had 17 shots. Stuff like that, doesn't happen just because the goalkeeper's bad. Usually that's a defensive situation. And I guarantee you, after the game, when Jordan Pickford went into the tunnel, he absolutely berated his defenders.
Oh, I guarantee you there's a hairdryer, man.
Because, that's something I would do, I know. If I know that my defenders are letting me down, I'm going to let them know. And I'm probably going to throw that game down the drain because they're probably going to be mad at me for the rest of the game and not defend very well. But they're going to get the picture eventually, or they're going to lose their job. So, like I said, I agree with him. I think Jordan Pickford, although he just signed a new deal with Everton, I think he needs to go. It's not working. I think he'll be much more effective at a different club. So,
So I think that winds up the match week and kind of leaves us getting ready to go into Boxing Day tomorrow. One of the most exciting days of the season, because everybody's playing, man. Everybody playing. Well, except Southampton and West Ham, who play on Thursday. But yeah, for match week 19, which is halfway through the season, right now the table is looking at Liverpool in first with 48, City in second with 44, Tottenham 42, fourth place Chelsea with 37, fifth place Arsenal with 37, but the goal differential is what's keeping Chelsea on top with 4 more positive goals. Rounding out your top 6 would be Manchester United with 29, so a full 8 points out of Europa right now. And then Everton, which is one of the big teams we always talk about. They're in 11th place right now, so they're literally bottom half of the table.
Yep.
Halfway through the season with 24 points, and they're negative on goal differential with one of the world's best goalkeepers in the net, and it's not David friggin' De Gea. Who again is a good goalkeeper, and he had a good day.
He had a really good day. Even the penalty that they scored on him, he dove the right way. Like I said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's a good goalkeeper. He has the skill. Yeah. Is he the best? No, he's not the best in the world, but he's up there.
One of the best. But he's not the best.
There's a reason he's Spain's number 1. Although I think that's changing with Kepa. We'll have to see the next international break. That's going to be
interesting, yeah.
That's all I have.
Yeah, so tomorrow, like I said, Boxing Day will be match day 19. Lots of good matches tomorrow. So we'll keep you guys updated on that next week. That's all we got.
We will see you guys on New Year's Day.
New Year's
for
Day.
A New Year's special. Again, Tuesday night at 6, if my work allows me to. I don't know my schedule yet.
We will keep you in the loop. You will know well in advance. But I'll take you out. So listen, thanks for watching, everybody. This is Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. Special thanks to our really good friend, Macrophonic MC. Happy Christmas to him and his family. And if you really want to do something cool, he's got a YouTube channel, him and his family do. It's called Fun23. So check that out. It's really cool, especially if you have kids. It's going to be something interesting for you to watch. They're a really great family. So thanks to Macrophonic MC for letting us use the music. Thanks to Thomas for all of his hard work behind the keyboard here, doing all of this stuff. I know he was pulling his hair out and punching things about a half an hour ago. So right before we got on. Click the link, click like, click the bell so you get notifications. Share it with your friends. Check out the t-shirt and sticker shop. Find some cool stuff there for late Christmas presents if you gotta. And that's the show. That's Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.